Hey guys, it's BlockchainBrad, and today I'm very honored to speak with a very exciting blockchain company called Seele. And many of you would have heard about it in the past, and to talk about that further we have three very prominent executives before me. The first is none other than Dr. Bi Wei, or Wei Bi. Thank you so much, Doctor, for being on the channel.
Thank you, Brad. Hello, everyone.
It's great that you're here, and once again, thank you for your time. We also have the very important social media manager, and among many other roles he has, and that is Tiger Park. Tiger, thank you so much for being on the channel.
You're welcome, and thanks, Brad, and hello, everyone.
It's great that you're on the channel, mate. And finally, we have Wensi. Wen, thank you very much for your time today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, mate. All right, well, for those who don't know, the premise for this presentation today is actually not to go into detail about Seele. It's actually to unpack the FUD. We've heard a lot of information, misinformation in many cases, about what's actually happened in recent past, and who better to explain this than the executives themselves. So let's get into what are going to be 6 key components, 6 key questions I'd like to ask these gentlemen before me. And the first one I'd like to ask is about your white paper, Tiger. Obviously, there's been some issues with the white paper itself. So could you tell us specifically what they've been in the past and what misinformation is out there?
Oh, actually, this white paper is a technical white paper, and in this white paper, we care more about the technology and the idea what we want to present, and especially, we put forward our new algorithm and other some kind of good concepts, and as well as our roadmap. But in this white paper, we do not publish our token metrics. Yeah, because at the first time we care about our community and the technology. We want to grow up our community first,
right. And
also we have already mentioned many times that it is it was a warming up time, for the team. We want our supporters or our backers. They need to know our project first before knowing the metrics.
Okay. Okay. So let's clarify that, Tiger. Obviously, because we want to make this a really succinct presentation. What you're saying is that your first attempt at a white paper was a technical white paper. We haven't seen that typically. Usually, the technical white paper comes after the general white paper. And you're also saying that for reasons of technicality and detail, you released that first, and you weren't as focused on the metrics in terms of the financials and disclosing that. Is that correct?
So we actually, the first thing we want to do is to let people know about our technology, not our metrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, though, in that context, obviously there are investors, for want of a better word, because you are a utility-based blockchain, so it's about really, I suppose, supporting the utility as opposed to direct investment. But no doubt people were putting their money essentially into the project. So given that, when are you planning on releasing the metrics, or have they been released now?
Yeah, they have been released, after our whitelist registered.
Okay, and it's all completely disclosed, it's open to the public, all the information?
Yeah, most information have been disclosed, but some information regarding to the terms in private sale, we have, signed NDA, so we have to keep it in confidential.
Sure, and that's nothing abstract. That actually happens with almost all blockchains with regard to the NDA for private sales. So thank you for making that clear. And obviously, if we want to,
Brad, just quickly add a little bit about the white paper.
Yes,
our white paper, like Tiger said, is very technical, but we actually in the process of writing a yellow paper as well, which is even more more technical. But we will not. We probably will release it in a few months' time. But we're preparing a yellow paper, as well.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Dr. Wei. I appreciate explaining that. So you have a super technical paper coming. Let's go now to your second question. Obviously, we want to try and keep this nice and streamlined, and that is with regard to the claim that what you're trying to do with even your title as a blockchain project is just too broad. So let me explain what I mean. It says that you are upscaling neural consensus protocol for high throughput concurrency. Now obviously that's a very technical term. We don't typically see that kind of technicality in titles, but what I can say is that I've read through different Reddit posts and other sources of information from audience members and potentially investors, and they are saying that it's just too complex what you're trying to do. What would you say to that, Dr. Wei?
Firstly, I have to say it is complex. It is quite complex for what we are trying to do, but it's not something that we are making up. It's definitely some of the issue that in the nowadays blockchain, especially people say blockchain 3.0. This is kind of thing. The performance and the scalability. When we say the high throughput is about the performance, and the upscale is kind of the ability. It's about the scalability. So these kind of issues we really want to address. And I think we can talk about that in the later stage, in the technical AMA stage. Brad, is that fine?
Yes, I think that's a great idea. So basically, we want to just recap from you that it is entirely doable, entirely plausible what you're trying to achieve based on your title, and there is no, there's no misleading information in there. I want to just clarify that from you now.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, thank you so much for that. If we could now talk about some of the other really well-known issues that have generated what we call FUD. And if you're not familiar with FUD, that's the fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the marketplace of both blockchain and cryptocurrency. One of the ones that was quite serious was with regard to a fraudulent activity that did take place within your department, among your team. And so, Dr. Wei, I wanted to talk to you specifically about that because it involved falsified identity, it involved monetary loss. It was quite serious and quite damaging. So, can you tell us more about exactly what did happen?
Yes, I can tell you exactly what happened. Is actually, I think our website went live in late January, and only after a week. And somebody, there was a scammer impersonated one of our people, Dr. Nick Smith, and he actually used Dr. Nick Smith's name and his pictures, and he deceived the administrator on duty, so he got the admin right. I think what happened that day is probably because earlier that day we happened to spoke with Dr. Smith. We happened to chat with Dr. Nick Smith, and so the admin on duty actually believed the scammer was Dr. Smith, so gave him the admin right. So it's quite unfortunate. And as soon as the scammer got the admin right, he actually sent private messages to the investors, and so quite a few people were deceived. That's actually what happened. And I think after 32 hours, the scammer seems to be very professional. Because he kind of know that most of us are located in China, and he did this kind of in the he used the time difference, and he sent private messages kind of only in the night time. Of course, I know Tiger is also on duty at night, but after 32 hours, we realized this because some of the victims actually contacted us, and we immediately realized that that wasn't Dr. Nick Smith. And Tiger, I, and Wensi, and all of our people, we didn't sleep. We sit together. We immediately head to the office, and we form a special team, and we immediately start to investigate this. And of course, myself and Dr. Smith, we both made a video, and we published it on YouTube immediately to clarify the fact that we're the true team here, and the true Dr. Smith wasn't doing that. And of course, the first thing we did is to remove the right of the scammers. That's what happened first. And then we also tried to collect all the evidence from all the victims. And we set up, I think that's from the Tiger side. Tiger set up the two-stage log on procedure. So for all the administrators, when they log on, they need to send a video. They need to chat video live, so to confirm they're really the admin on duty. Okay, and so we also set.
So just to clarify, your very first step was to cease the ability for anyone to interact with you without proper verifications with a two-step process, and you did that as a team. You all went to the office straight away as soon as you heard about it. Okay, so that's good to know that you reacted and took it very seriously. But what I wanted to ask you is, how can you be sure that it wasn't an inside job? How can we be sure, as people trying to understand Zella, that it wasn't someone from inside your team, based on your investigations?
That's a lot. We did get asked that question from the community. That's something people really care about, and we know that we are not doing this ourselves. And we form an investigation. We seek advice from the local lawyers and solicitors immediately. And we also set up a collaboration with Bounty Zero X. We also planning to do a bounty program ourselves to thoroughly investigate this, so to prove to the society that we are innocent, we are not doing this ourselves.
Okay. So you've involved proper legal counsel from China, from, I would imagine, from Shanghai or Beijing or somewhere. Where exactly are they from?
We haven't got the legal counsel yet, but we do have lawyers, because we don't really know where the scammers belongs to. So
I see.
We are hoping that from this bounty program we can find more evidence about, say if the scammer are from China, or say they're from, for example, England, then we have to seek for the local authority, from that location.
Sure.
Rather than we cannot ask every individual country to deal with this.
I see. So you're open to the jurisdictions of different countries around the world. But let's talk about now some of the other things you've done. So you've contacted various legal entities to ensure you are represented. You've also reacted with some great Medium articles I've seen, and reacted with some videos that are very clear. But what about in terms of law enforcement? Have you contacted the authorities with regard to this as a potential criminal action?
As I said, we have to really be sure that we know where the scammer come from. For example, like I said, if they're from USA, probably we ask the FBI for help. But this is the advice actually we got from our solicitor, from our lawyer. We have to be really careful on this.
Right.
But what we did is really important. One thing we want to say is that we already carry out the compensation plan for all the victims. So we already compensated half of the money to all victims already. And when the bounty program finishes, originally was planning to finish on the 15th of April, we will do the other half of the compensation to really, satisfy for all victims, to be compensated.
I see. And Dr. Wei, we do really appreciate that you've labelled them as victims, because quite realistically, that's exactly what they are. And for those who may not have heard clearly, what is very exciting is that Zella have recognised this error, this grave error. It's a very serious one in terms of security. And obviously, from their standpoint, they are not responsible for this, but what they have done is they've decided to compensate all of those victims completely, fully, as a result of, their own discussions. So it is very commendable. All three of you would like to say the victims certainly would appreciate this. And also for all those people involved in the cryptocurrency and blockchain, we all appreciate this, because you're taking it very seriously, and we need more people to do so when these kind of mishaps happen.
Thank you. So yeah, we want to say, unfortunately, we are also the victims, but we are taking responsibility to deal with this, and we are investing in this. We think we get some satisfactory evidence already, but unfortunately, it seems to be quite difficult to deal with. But this is certainly not the end of Zella. We will keep working on this issue, try to solve this as well.
And Dr. Wei, if we could talk about affordability in the context of, obviously, the costs are immense. With almost $2 million, as I understand, has been at the cost of the company. So how are you going with affording this kind of compensation package? And how have you done it?
Originally, we really want to trace the money back and from the scammer, then to use this part of the money to deal with this. But now we are just using our own money to compensate for the victims, and we know that we are doing our best. This is the best we can do, and but we believe that our technology will really kind of help us to how do I say this, to earn the money back.
I see.
Or help us to, yeah.
So, and that really bespeaks of the confidence of your company. And once again, you've affirmed that the title itself is based on a very real project. So if we could talk now, Tiger, about something else, a little bit less heavy, I guess. Firstly, thank you very much, Doctor, for explaining that. Many people around the world have wanted to know. If we could talk about now, Tiger, with regard to engagement in social media. You are an expert in this area. Some people I've read on Reddit and other sources have suggested perhaps you could improve in your engagement, especially early on, with regard to a lot of these issues. What would you say to that?
Well, many people come to us and they say, I think we can make some marketing, or, we can start up some, bounty, or maybe we can start some, paid marketing. But actually, we all refused. And from the very beginning, Zella team always keep a very low profile, because we initially named blockchain 4.0 because it is quite a big title, but it shows our vision and ambitions to make something different. But sometimes it is too good to be true. So people will realize that if paid marketing is kind of the true, or we are pretending to be good. So actually we do not want to do it, and we do not want to make some engagement on it. So we just want to grow up our community naturally.
I see. Well, I
Yeah.
think, I can attest to that, because I certainly wasn't paid to do this interview. I can verify that right now. What is important, and what you're saying, Tiger, is it's all about the credibility and the technology. So organically you want to grow, and you want to do that with ideally presenters, influencers, and the like, in a very, very authentic way. So I do appreciate what you said, and just to clarify, you didn't pay YouTubers or anyone of that nature to present Zella, and you are really focused on bringing out the technology, as you unfold in your roadmap.
Yeah, actually, many influencers come to us, and they asked for free allocation, or free tokens, or free ethers to pay back, but actually we said no, and we refused them.
I see.
And then, of course, even you, we will not pay you.
Exactly. And that's fine. We appreciate that. And certainly, just for clarification, I don't take payments, and I certainly don't take allocations. And that's also what it's about, making sure we have credibility in this space, not just for this year, but for the future of decentralized business. So thank you very much for that. Wensu, could we talk about now some issues with the whitelist? I understand that as a load balancer, you had a key role, and there was a few issues that came up with the whitelist itself. Could you tell us a bit about that, with regard to things such as using Google Forms? As we know, it's a serious issue that's come up, and many people complained about that.
Yeah. Firstly, we just use our whitelist register form, but Google just slotting us totally, so our customer cannot visit this form. So, and then we just also ask our partner, and ask our customer, and ask our community. We then select the WU form as our whitelist form register provider, and then we just create 10 WU forms, and then distribute the request eventually to this 10 forms.
I see. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that.
So before open the list, we just make some full suggest testing and functionality testing to make sure the whitelist regestion smoothly. Okay,
I see. Thank you for explaining that. I appreciate that, Wen. Dr. Wei, if you could perhaps explain a little bit further on that. It is quite difficult to understand what Wen is trying to say with regard to the whitelist specifically.
Yeah, actually, Wensi and the group of Wensi did a lot of work, and we about the whitelist registration. We did, see a lot of projects that use Google Form before. That's why we also use the Google Form. So it's not completely uncommon to use Google Form to do the whitelist registration. Just unfortunately, on the day we did experience a very high volume of probably people keep refreshing, and also probably because when we released the link of the whitelist a few minutes earlier before it actually goes to public. So people goes to that page, keep refreshing. That's actually what happened. And then immediately after that, of course, the experience is really bad on that day. We apologize for that, and the team, our team, and especially Wensi led the team to redo the whitelist, all the technologies. We use another form, which is professional, especially dealing with this kind of multiple high throughput visits, and also Wensi and the team did a better load balancer to really balance the traffic.
I see.
So a lot of change and from the technology part was made.
So you really essentially remedied what was arguably a clear mistake, using something that's just simply too open with Google Forms. It's too exposed to the and certainly it potentiates too many risks involved. You've remedied those with better technology, and no doubt learned from that experience and won't be doing something like that ever again.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And obviously, this is a tough, discussion to have. There have been other cases prior to yours also where Google Forms has been utilized, as you mentioned, but also once again, it's posed problems for those blockchain startups as well. So we could now talk about one that was well and truly in the media. So perhaps we could go to you, Tiger, first and move down to Dr. Wei. But this is with regard to universities specifically, and this was spread right through all kinds of social media, specifically with regard to UCL, CBT, and your relationship with them. So what I'd like to do today is clarify, to make it crystal clear, what exactly is the relationship with this university, and what is the plan for the future? So for UCL, CBT, what's the relationship?
Do you want me to answer it, Brad?
Yes, or both of you would be great. If you want to start, Doctor, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I think what happened, people see the tweet from CBT, so they said they have no relation with us, but we did have a agreement, a contract signed, and the starting date of the contract is on the 1st of January 2018, and it is valid for 3 years.
I see.
That's the fact. But since they published the tweet, we immediately contacted them, and we investigated the tweet, and the tweet was true. We think what happened was some of the people. They send a lot of rumors, probably because of the scam. And we think we understand why CBT and particular people immediately react. Probably they were forced to publish the tweet.
I see.
But then we told them everything. We didn't do the job ourselves, and we were doing investigations ourselves. And now we see they have already removed the tweet. And in fact, I'm going to England. I'm going to London in mid-April, or maybe the end of April. We are going to talk about the further details about the collaborations again. But we are also working. We are also trying to set up other collaborations with the medical school in UCL as well.
I see.
But this is completed the business part. Probably I'm not going to disclose.
No, that'd be fine. But Dr. Wei, let's just clarify these facts. So essentially what you're saying is that based on the scam FUD and the unfortunate events that did transpire, the UCL CBT reacted, they responded with a tweet, and then you checked it, and then from that you've now, as a resolution, you're continuing your relationship with them, and the clarifications have been made and they've retracted those tweets. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. We're still working with Hui Gong and Professor Lawrence from the CBT team.
I see. And I think what's very important for all the audience to know is that there was absolutely a signed contract with regard to the CBT, with the UCL CBT, and that is an ongoing contractual agreement.
Yeah, actually there is a contract, but unfortunately, due to the business facts, and we cannot release it to public. But there is definitely a contract about our collaboration.
Well, we appreciate your disclosure on that point. If we could now go across to you, Tiger, with regard to just references generally, is there anything you'd like to add, just as a final statement? And I'll go across to go to all three of you, just to make a final statement with regard to the FUD factor in Seele. What you'd like to say?
Well, actually, well, we meet FUD every day, almost every day, because people are feeling fear, and they are afraid, because we are claiming a very big vision.
Right.
Yeah, but actually, we want to do a real job, and just like what there's one sentence I really like. The former president Kennedy, when he made a speech to the public, that why they made the Apollo project. They made Apollo project not because of it is easy, because it is hard. So I want to say, also I want to say in Seele project, we want to make it not because it is easy, but because it is very hard. So we want to achieve, we want to achieve some really big goal, but we need to focus on the technology. So it means that sometimes marketing or some PR will not be our the things we focus on.
I see. Well, let's hope that marketing and PR is still has a constant flow in some degree. But thank you so much for making sure that you are focused on the challenges and the adversities and the quality. Wensi, is there anything you'd like to add with regard to the FUD that we've seen, so that we can try and address some of the concerns of the community? What would you like to say as a statement, Wensi? Perhaps Dr. Wei, you might like to translate quickly in Chinese.
关于那个 FUD， 你有没有什么想添加一点的
We can currently we just know some comments on our project and Seele, but we are focused on the Seele project, and we keep updating and uploading the code to our GitHub, and we just code show all.
I see. So you're really focused as a lead technologist. You're focused on making sure that the GitHub is robust, and that you're focused on making sure that you're working on the code right now. So thank you so much. Now, Dr. Wei, as an expert and no doubt the leader in this project called Seele, what would you like to say to the audience, given that we've addressed specific items, just as a closing statement, to really make it clear what you stand for?
I think Tiger and Wensi said everything which I really want to say is really good. One last thing I really want to say is we are a technology-focused, technology-heavy team, and we publish our website. We publish our idea in the white paper, and we didn't realize that our project became so popular in the short time of period, and bad people trying to deceive us, trying to take advantage of this. But we will still keep our style. We will keep updating our codes. We will keep solving the difficult problems in the blockchain area, and probably we will propose other wonderful ideas in terms of technology. And we will try to work on our PR and marketing side a little bit, but our focus is the technology.
I see. Well, on behalf of all the people who wanted to know more about specifically the matters relating to FUD in the Seele context, thank you very much for being brave to present your case today. Once again, you are the upscale neural consensus protocol for high throughput concurrency, and you've certainly addressed each of the points that many of people around the world were concerned about. So thank you, Wensi, thank you, Tiger Park, and thank you, Dr. Wei Bi, for your time. And very soon there will be an AMA coming up with regard to all of the things related to Seele, right from A to Z. We'll unpack it, we'll explore it, and we'll discuss it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Brad.